What would you give up for peace? A question that is more than just philosophical for the people of Ukraine as they face the relentless aggression of Russia. The ongoing conflict, which has been raging since 2014, has seen Ukraine lose around 20% of its territory to Russian occupation. The war has been brutal, with Russia losing over 830,000 troops since February 2022, and it's clear that peace is needed. So, what can be done to bring this conflict to an end? The path to peace is paved with complexities. Ukraine's need for security guarantees to prevent future Russian aggression is paramount. It's not just about ending the conflict today, but ensuring that it doesn't reignite tomorrow. Potential solutions have been proposed, from NATO membership to bilateral security pacts and peacekeeping forces. Each of these options carries its own set of challenges and implications. NATO membership, for instance, could provide a strong deterrent against further Russian aggression, but could also escalate tensions with Russia. Bilateral security pacts, on the other hand, could offer more immediate protection, but may lack the long-term security guarantees that Ukraine needs. Peacekeeping forces could offer a middle ground, providing security while also maintaining a neutral stance. However, the implementation of such forces would require extensive international cooperation and could be complicated by Russia's veto power in the United Nations Security Council. The road to peace is not an easy one. It's a journey fraught with difficult decisions and potential sacrifices. Ukraine may have to make concessions, potentially giving up some of the territories currently under Russian occupation. This is a significant sacrifice, a surrender of land that is deeply intertwined with Ukrainian identity and history. But in the face of war, these are the difficult questions that must be asked, and the tough decisions that must be made. As the gears of negotiation turn, the question remains, what is Ukraine willing to surrender for the promise of peace? What does it mean to make a concession in the name of peace? It's a question that's been echoed in the halls of diplomacy and across the battlegrounds of Ukraine. Marco Rubio, the US President-elect's choice for Secretary of State, has suggested that both Ukraine and Russia need to make concessions to end the ongoing war. Now let's take a moment to unpack this. A concession in this context could mean Ukraine relinquishing control over territories currently under Russian occupation. This is no small ask. We're talking about 20% of Ukrainian territory, where repressive measures have been imposed on the local population since 2014. The implications of such a move are profound. On one hand, it could bring an end to a conflict that has seen Russia lose over 830,000 troops and Ukraine defend its sovereignty with an army of 880,000. On the other hand, it could mean Ukraine accepting a loss of territory and the potential for future threats from an emboldened Russia. Yet while the idea of concessions is being floated in the West, the sentiment in Russia tells a different story. A public opinion survey reveals a war-weary population with a majority supportive of peace talks but opposed to making major concessions to Ukraine. The costs of the military operation in Ukraine have been significant, stirring dissatisfaction among the Russian public, so we find ourselves in a predicament. The path to peace is fraught with difficult decisions and potential sacrifices. The question remains, are both sides willing to make the necessary concessions? Or will national pride and territorial integrity outweigh the desire for an end to conflict? As the world watches, the price of peace hangs in the balance. Will the cost of concession be a price Ukraine is willing to pay?